What is going on, everyone? It is Omiglio coming at you with another video. Today, I thought I'd do a special video going retro on you. I hope you guys don't mind. I'm doing Omi's top 20 Atari 2600 games. Now, why am I doing this? Well, as many of you may know, or may not know, depending on if you're into retro games, Atari has been releasing a lot of clone systems as of late, within the last 5-7 years. Going back to like the Retron 77 by Hyperkin. You have the Atari Flashback Gold consoles. You have a more recent memory, the Atari VCS, the Atari Game Station, and I mean, I'm telling you, there's so many of them. And then the most recent one, the Atari 2600 Plus, which comes out next month. I want to say November 17th. So I thought I'd do a special video where I talk about my favorite 2600 games. All right, guys. Now, I do want to mention something very important here to start off. A lot of you might think, oh, Miguel, these games don't hold up. They're not fun anymore. Well, I would argue that they do hold up simply because of the gameplay. If you watch my videos, you know that I'm all about gameplay. I can dismiss graphics if the gameplay is fun. There's no better example of that than the Atari 2600. It's right there. The graphics are clearly dated, but they're fun. Also, similar to that, very closely linked to this, is the fact that I believe that these games do hold the test of time, not only because of the remarkable gameplay, but because they're fun to play with friends and family. You heard me right. You don't have to go online and just search for friends that may or may not be online. Call family over, just like when you're playing Monopoly as a board game as a family. The Atari 2600, I promise you, won't let you down. It has a lot of games that are still fun today. All right. Now, without further ado, guys, we are going to get started, but something very important to note. If you look at your screen, at the top right, you have the Atari 2600 console. Then to the left, you have two controllers at the bottom. To the left, you have the paddle controller. To the right, you have the traditional stick controller. Why am I talking about them? Well, because the Atari 2600, depending on the game that you're playing, and I will mention this as I'm doing the review of my top 20 list, will utilize one of the two controllers. Certain games like sports games, some racing games, and some like different games will utilize the paddle controller, which is on the left, and a lot of them, most of them, will utilize the controller to the right, that traditional stick controller with the button. Now, that's very important because I think right there is the key, again, why this console holds up. Yes, it's dated. Yes, it's one of the most primitive consoles you'll ever see when it comes to graphics. And if you're all about graphics, you're gonna hate this video, because I'm here to tell you that it's not all about graphics. It's about gameplay, and those controllers really do a good job of making you feel immersed into the game and giving you, at the end of the day, joy and fun, especially with friends and family. All right, guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and do Omi's top 20 Atari 2600. All right, guys, to get things started, we're doing Video Game Olympics, coming in at number 20. Now, why is Video Olympics on this list? Really, it's only here because of one game and one game only, Pong. This is the closest thing we had to Pong on the Atari 2600. There are multiple games. It's not just Pong that you can play. There's multiple variations of like basically the same thing. Games that are more like, I guess you can call them like, see, I'll show you different versions of this game. Games that are play like Pong, but they're like slightly different variations. Something similar to like hockey, something similar to like, see, something like that, where it's head on, 1 versus 1, 1v1, like soccer, something like that, But really, the bread and butter, why I'm here, why this game made the number 20 spot, is because of Pong. So let's go ahead and get it started with Pong. So yeah, I'm the guy on the right. This game does utilize those paddle shifters that I was talking about. So this game does them, and it does them very, very well. And again, this game, obviously, guys, it looks very extremely basic. But that's, I'm making the argument, I'm making the case that the reason that this game still holds the test of time is because of its remarkable gameplay and simplicity. Yes, this game is just blocks and you're playing like tennis or you're playing Pong essentially. But man, what else do you want? When you have family over, this is where it's at. And that's why this game is number 20 on my list, for simply the fun factor. Coming in at number 19 is Junior Pac-Man. Honestly, guys, this game could have easily been higher on my list, and the only reason it didn't is because I suck at it. Literally, I'm being honest. I'm not the greatest Pac-Man player ever, but Junior Pac-Man, OMG, it plays really smooth. The levels actually scroll up and down. The screen does, because they're so big. And honestly, between Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, and this one, this is probably, if you're a big Pac-Man fan, this is probably the best one on the 2600. I do prefer Miss Pac-Man because it's a little bit more toned down. I think the difficulties, it's not as fast, and it's a little bit more playable, approachable for someone like me that's not that good at these games. But this one's where it's at. Like, honestly, visually, everything about it is so impressive for a 2600 game. Look at that. It actually has music for the intro, similar to Miss Pac-Man. Yeah, pretty much this one and Miss Pac-Man, both of them were a big step up over the original Pac-Man that came out on the 2600. Now, the original Pac-Man that came out on the 2600, it did sell a lot of games, but it was poorly received. A lot of people hated it. A lot of purists that are Pac-Man fanatics did not like that version of the game. I as a kid, I loved it, because I didn't know any better. I was a kid, and of course I loved it. But honestly, guys, if you're into Pac-Man and you want a good Pac-Man game on the 2600, look no further than Junior Pac-Man. This game plays, runs, everything is so. This is probably one of the most impressive Atari 2600 games I've ever played. It's that good. It's so impressive. It runs buttery smooth. And I should have gone up. But yeah, guys, you guys checked out some gameplay. It runs buttery smooth, and honestly, Junior Pac-Man is number 819 on my Omi's Top 20 2600 games. On the 18th spot is honestly a game that could easily been higher on my list. It's just such a competitive thing, guys, and I'm just going with my gut. I'm putting it at number 18, but it could have been, just like Junior Pac-Man, depending on your preference, could have been higher on your list. This is a legendary game, programmed and created by Howard Scott Warsaw, which also created E.T., which is that's a story for another day. But this game, guys, let's check out some gameplay. Remarkable. Now, I know one of the I was watching this like Atari documentary, and they were saying that the early development of the Atari 2600 games, their philosophy was, simple in design, difficult to master. There is no better way to describe this game than that. It's simple in design. Like, you have this wall, right? And then you have this guy right there hiding out, and you want to be able to shoot him. Oh, yeah, with your bomb. After you want to time it right. Oh, I barely missed him, but you want to penetrate through that wall, and then being careful not to get hit by that thing, and also that little beam that's following you, that little dot following you. Okay, I messed up again. Okay, yeah, there we go, and right there, we're gonna get him. Yeah, we got him. There's a lot going on. It's very simple in approach. I'm gonna try to describe it, guys. I know I wasn't describing it very well. Let me try to describe it. So you have basically your insect that's to the left. Oh, I just got shot. You're trying to avoid that big thing shooting at you. And you'll have this wall right here. See how this distorted wall, it looks like an old TRT TV? As long as you're in here, you can't shoot bullets. So that prohibits you from shooting bullets. Although if you're behind it, you can. So you can penetrate through that wall to the right, make holes on it, and then but you got to be careful for this dot that constantly follows you. See that dot? Now, as long as you grab anything as long as you grab any of this and you start eating it, it's like he's eating it. If you start eating the wall, your bomb will pop up. You can either do your bomb will pop up either by eating the wall or by touching that enemy. I should know that you can go from one area to the next simply by going up and down vertically, up and down the screen. Then your character will go up and down. I just got hit. But that's pretty much a Yard's Revenge, guys. Pretty simplistic in approach, but difficult to master, guys. This game. Let's see if I can get this guy real quick before I end this video here. So again, in order for me to get the I got hit. In order for me to get my bomb, activate my bomb, I do have to. I'm trying to destroy that last section of the wall. I have to touch him because there's no more wall left, and then I have to shoot at him. I barely missed him, guys. Barely missed him. Let's try to get. Oh, that was bad timing. Okay, I gotta get away from that, and then shoot him right there. Come on, Omiglio. Got him. Got him. Yard's Revenge. Absolute great game. Howard Scott Warsaw, one of his greatest designs ever, and that's why it comes in at number 18. Oh yeah, this is nostalgia galore. I can remember this game like it was yesterday. Coming in at number 17 is Missile Command. Very, very basic in approach. You're trying to defend your cities, by the use of a cannon to destroy these oncoming like bombs that want to destroy your city. Let's get some gameplay and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Very basic, guys. Very basic, but so much fun. it does get a lot harder. So it starts off fairly easy. Notice how the radius of your bombs can, like, it covers a good amount of ground, and it adds to the gameplay, because sometimes if you time it right, you can destroy more than one bomb that is coming at you at once, if you time it right. So this game is so simple, but yet when it get, at the higher levels, it's very, very difficult to master. So they're giving you all these points. I haven't gotten hit yet, but trust me, you will get hit, especially at the higher levels. I just love the radius of the bomb. How much you can cover, because you can, again, destroy more than one bomb at the same time if you time it right. It's just, the gameplay is so phenomenal, easy to control, and honestly, there's different versions of Missile Commander. This one is right up there with anything when it comes to fun factor. I do think that the difficulty does ramp up rather quicker than I would like, because I just tend to just like, I just want to kick back. See, there you go. I got more than one bomb at once. That's where the gameplay's at, man. This game's got remarkable gameplay. I do think that it gets hard a little too fast, too early. But then again, hey, what is life without a bit of a challenge, right? So I shouldn't be complaining too much, Omiglio. But yeah, this game, it's already getting kind of harder. I can already feel it. But my goodness, one of my all-time favorites. That is why, coming at number 17, Missile Commander, absolute legend. I love this game. Coming in at number 16 is a legendary game that does utilize those paddle controllers that I mentioned earlier in the video. This game is so much fun. It really shines with friends and family. You have, at four corners of the screen, that's where your player is at. So you have one at the top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. And that represents a player. Now you're trying to penetrate through your opposing players, basically through their walls, and you're trying to penetrate through their, I guess, base, if you want to call it the base. The base being what color that you are. So let's just say in my case, I'm the top left and my color is orange, or actually it's brown, I think. You're trying to protect it. You're trying to let this dot, it's like a ball, the ball, there it is, the game has started. You're trying to not let that ball penetrate through your walls, thereby destroying your base. The bases look like, I don't know what they look like. They're different colors. You have yellow, blue, green, and purple. Mine's is the yellow one to the top left. And with the paddle shifters, that's how you navigate. So you have to be very precise. And it's nerve-wracking and fun and so much fun, especially with friends and family, guys. But you want to penetrate through the walls and then get that base, which is, behind the wall. So you want to get that, that color. And in my case, I'm trying to get that blue one to the top. Don't let that ball hit your walls, otherwise it's gonna penetrate through your base. See, look at that. I flipped it. But yeah, this game, honestly, this game, I'm playing it solo right now just to show you guys the demo of the game. But really, where the game shines, okay, they're about to destroy my base. See, my armor is pretty much, okay, one of them's destroyed. One of the bases got destroyed right now. I'm playing with that doesn't sound right. I'm playing by myself, and honestly, I'm still having a hard time. This game is challenging, but it really comes to life with those paddle controllers. And like I said, it really, really comes to life with friends and family. That is why this game, Warlords, comes in at number 16. Coming in at number 15 is Super Breakout. This game is amazing. It's basically, you have this paddle at the bottom, and it's like playing tennis or something. You want to hit that little ball, and you want to destroy the top layers, that top wall. You want to destroy it. You rack up points as you do so. This game is so much memory, so much nostalgia. Without further ado, let's just get it started so you guys can check it out firsthand how this game plays. This is Super Breakout. The Breakout is the same thing as this game, but it's more basic. So this one, again, you're trying to just use your paddle to guide this ball. There we go. I already messed up on that one. Okay. This one does utilize the paddle controllers, and it's a really good example of why this 2600 is so much fun, because let's face it, they don't really make anything modern with paddle controllers. This is like an old idea for vintage games like this one. This is like a perfect example of when you would want to utilize those paddle controllers. I do believe that one of the first home console games ever produced was Pong, the original Pong, and that one did have paddle controllers. But this game, it's so much fun. I'm not the best at it. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't. But yeah, you're trying to just rack up points by destroying those walls on top, and that's why Super Breakout comes in at number 15. Getting the 14th spot is Breakout. It's pretty much the same thing as Super Breakout, and I put them next to each other because I pretty much can't decide which one I like better. I think honestly, I'm kind of leaning towards this one because it's a little more simplistic in approach. But it's the same thing. You know, you're trying to guide this ball, almost like playing tennis. You can see the cover there. It's almost like a tennis player, and you're trying to destroy the blocks on top, and you rack up points doing that. A ton of fun. It gets more difficult, like many games in history of video games get more difficult. But let's go ahead and give it a shot, and you guys will see some actual awesome gameplay. Yeah, this is one of my childhood favorites. You know, Breakout and Super Breakout. I couldn't decide, so I kind of See, I tend to honestly right off the bat, I do favor this one because Breakout seems like if you're like not a novice anymore, if you're like a pro and you're good at these games, which I'm not. If you're like a pro, then definitely go with Super Breakout. But for me, I'm more. See, look how big that paddle is, and I'm still thinking at the game, but. Yeah, you know, notice how this one seems more simplistic compared to Super Breakout. This is why this one I have a slightly more nostalgic, more affection towards this game than Super Breakout. Super Breakout is more of the same, but more difficult, more challenging. And I tend to prefer, you know, especially with the 2600, I'm going to go with more simplistic over more complex any day of the week. Because at the end of the day, it's all about having fun, not about having the greatest, biggest graphics. So that's why Breakout comes in at number 14. Coming in at number 13 is Millipede. Now, this is based off of an arcade game, you know, the same title. You know, the graphics are basically dumbed down pretty bad, guys. Your main character, you know, you're just basically a square. But don't let the game fool you. The gameplay is absolutely phenomenal. And that is, you know, that's the whole point of this video, is to show you that, yeah, the graphics aren't that good. They're very primitive, but don't miss out on the gameplay. They're so much fun. Arguably just as much fun as the arcade. Without further ado, let's get it started with Millipede here at number 13. So yeah, you look at my, you know, I'm supposed to be like an insect. I'm supposed to be a millipede, but I'm just basically a red dot. Which is fine because the gameplay is just so good in this game. It's so incredibly good that, you know, it's okay that I'm a dot. I can deal with that. Oh, I just got hit right there. So if you look at this area, you know, you can shoot left, right, you know, basically horizontally. And you have to be careful for all these objects. I'm the red dot that's moving, but then you have stationary dots. Again, these graphics are very primitive. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to destroy these green guys that are like I guess millipedes. Okay, that was not a very good playthrough. Let's try it again. But it's the gameplay that makes this game phenomenal, man. It's so much fun. If you guys are familiar with the arcade, this game plays honestly so good. Like do not let the bad graphics you know, deter you from this game. This is a classic. And one of the things that I noticed is that if you're like right below one of those dots in front of you, you know, because you have basically this is the playable area, you know, this gray area, that's the playable area. I cannot leave out of there, but I can go up, down, left, right. So I have a lot of freedom as far as where I can move, which is really awesome. Other than that, it's pretty much a, you know, a vertical, and I guess you could say a horizontal. You can move horizontally, but it's kind of a vertical shooter. But the cool thing about it is that if I'm directly below one of those dots that I'm shooting at, you know, on top of me, I shoot quicker. You notice that? You see how if I'm directly below something, I actually shoot quicker. And there's so much strategy involved that the game becomes very beautiful. It's a lot of fun, guys. If you never played Millipede, you know, and looking for a retro game, maybe you're kind of curious about retro gaming. If you're into it, man, Millipede, even for the Atari 2600, is, I would say, just as good as the arcade. Maybe obviously the graphics are way downscaled, but don't sleep on that, guys. The gameplay is fantastic, and that's why this game comes on. Millipede comes in at number 13. So similar to Breakout and Super Breakout, you know, they were so closely related, and I couldn't decide which one I liked more, whether it's Centipede or Millipede, just like Breakout or Super Breakout. But I am putting Centipede just a hair above Millipede. But after playing it, I don't know, I'm not so sure about that. Where Breakout, I'm pretty sure I like Breakout over Super Breakout. This game is pretty much the same thing as Millipede. You know, you're shooting north, and you know, let's get some gameplay here, guys. Oh, sorry, let's get some gameplay here. It's pretty much the same thing as Millipede, but I think, similar to Breakout, I tended to prefer this one only because of the simplicity. It's more simple compared to its predecessor. So yeah, you're trying to, and if you're aligned directly underneath one of these dots, it's like you have like an Uzi or something. See, you shoot quicker. I think the reason I chose this version more over Millipede is because it's more basic in its approach, but it's pretty much the same game. So really, it's gonna come down to you. If you're more advanced, you might prefer Millipede. If you're more basic and you want something that's just enjoyable but not as difficult, I think you'd probably choose this one, which is probably why I'm choosing this one over Millipede. But either way, guys, you can't go wrong with either one. They're both fantastic, both a lot of fun. And even though the graphics are basically just dots, don't let that deter you, man. There's a lot of fun to be had with these games, and this is why, why I'm making this video. The graphics are very simple, but don't let that fool you. The gameplay is where it's at, guys. That's why Centipede comes in at number 12. This game is going to be very controversial. I think a lot of people probably aren't going to agree with my choice. Coming in at number 11, just barely missing the top 10, is Burger Time. This is one of my favorite. I know it's nostalgia talking, but it's not just nostalgia. The gameplay here is so much fun, guys. So simplistic in its approach. And it's one of those games when I think about, yeah, the graphics suck, but don't sleep on it, this game comes to mind. Yes, the graphics suck. There's no way around it, right? The graphics suck. But my goodness, this is one of those single player campaign games. It does utilize the regular standard stick, but we're going to get into some gameplay and show you what I'm talking about. Guys, the gameplay is where it's at. This game does tend to run a little choppy on the 2600, but other than that, it's still a remarkable version, and it's one of my favorite 2600 games. Let's get it going. Burger Time, guys, for the 2600. One of the few games that I could think of that actually has like a soundtrack, because again, the 2600 is so primitive and so like limited in what it could do, but this is one of the few games that actually has any kind of music. Most of the 2600 games did not have music. The other game that comes to mind that did have music is okay, so what you want to do, let them follow you, right? I get about halfway there, let them follow you, and check it out. Look, boom, I got them both. You see that? Basically, the graphics are so poor that you can't tell what they are. I don't even know what they really are in the arcade. But you're trying to create these burgers, guys. You're trying to make these burgers. See how they're stacking up at the bottom? And you do it by just, there you go, by making burgers. Just having the patties fall down and creating burgers. Oh, that guy almost got me. Okay, over here, got that. And you have like, you can use pepper. Like, it's like a spray. And that will, spray it on the enemies. The enemies range from like hot dogs to like, I don't know what those white lines and the red lines are. I don't know what they are. I don't know what they're supposed to be. But in the arcade, I think they're eggs in the arcade. Okay, see at the very top, there's more pepper. And you want to get that pepper because then that's what you could use. Like if you're desperate and you want to get away from like trouble, you want to use that spray on them. So a little pepper spray to the face of a wiener. But guys, this game is so much fun. I can continue to play this all day long. Can I? Actually, let's see if I can actually beat this first level. Okay, there's like a sausage. See, the sausage is going up. These guys, I don't know what the hell. Oh, I sprayed it the wrong way. Okay, yeah, that was my fault, guys. That wasn't the game's fault. This game, it's a little clunky in the controls, but as long as you align the character straight to where you're trying to get to, I don't know why he's shooting the wrong way. For some reason, he keeps spraying the wrong way. I don't know if that's a problem with my controller or... Oh, okay. Oh, all right. I think I'm getting the hang of this. Yeah, for some reason he kept spraying the wrong way. Let's see if I can get that guy. See, I only have like 2 more patties left, and I'll be done with this first level. But this game is so much fun, guys. Look at that. Oh, I didn't get him. I thought I got him. Let me see if I can get him with some pepper spray. And that's it. I got all the burgers. Yeah, this is like a childhood favorite, guys, but you know what? It's so much fun, and again, don't let the graphics deter you. I think right now, out of all the games that I played, probably the one that has the worst graphics, but it's still fun, is Millipede and Centipede. This game, when you look at all the different versions of Burger Time, this is probably going to be at the bottom of the list, but it doesn't come to the bottom when it comes to gameplay and just fun. It is a little clunky, you have to get used to it, but man, once you get used to it, it just comes to life, guys, and that's why, guys, this game does, in fact, come in at number... What is that, number 11? That's right, number 11. It just barely missed my top 10, but yeah, I love this game. Burger Time, number 11. The countdown has become for the Atari 2600. We're doing the top 10 2600 games, according to me, your buddy, Omiglio. So this is Galaxian, guys. You got to look at the roots of arcade games and the roots of gaming in general. We had a lot of shooters, and it's not to be confused with what we consider shooters today. No, these are the true shooters. When I think of a shooter, I think about something like this. When people say shooter, I think about this. When I think about a more modern game like Call of Duty, I call it an FPS, first-person shooter. But without getting into too much controversy, guys, why did this game make it? Because these shooters, if you will, these old-school shooters, are so much fun, guys. They're so much fun. Let's just get into the gameplay. You'll see what I'm talking about. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy. Just shoot the objects in front of you that are the enemies, that are insects that are trying to kill you, and they're shooting objects at you, and you want to destroy them. A lot of these early games, guys, are influenced by a game called Space Invaders, which may or may not make my top 10 list. Haha, little hint, it will. A lot of them borrow from that design where you have same thing you have right here. Like you have a lot of objects in front of you, and you're trying to destroy them. And they're moving basically left and right, and you have objects that are shooting at you at the same time. But this design right here is this vertical shooter, very much influenced by Space Invaders. This game is phenomenal. This game, honestly, it holds up so much. You could say it's a Space Invaders clone, but it still does enough that it's got its own merit. It's good in its own right. And honestly, for the 2600, I think it actually looks pretty decent. It looks pretty good. If you've seen games like Centipede, where it's basically just a dot, where this game you could clearly make out it looks like a spaceship or something, right? It's not just a dot. This game actually holds up pretty well. The gameplay holds up very well, guys. That is why this game is my top 10 2600 games. Galaxian. Coming in at number 9 is a game that a lot of you already are very familiar with this game, especially when it comes to retro gaming. I'm talking about the infamous Miss Pac-Man. What can I say about this game? I do prefer it over Junior Pac-Man because it's more simplistic in its approach. It doesn't have the scrolling background where it just goes up and down. I appreciate it. Obviously, the Atari was pushing the limits on the Atari Junior Pac-Man, but this game is more simplistic in its approach. But it is miles better than the original Pac-Man on the 2600. Let's get some gameplay and show you what I'm talking about here. Now, again, a lot of Atari games, especially for the 2600, they didn't have music. The fact that this game has this intro, it's amazing. So right there alone, you have the intro song, and you still have the cheese. Rather than having dots that you collect, you have cheese, which actually makes me hungry. Makes me want to go get some kind of cheesy food, like a cheesy taco or something. I don't know, cheesy pizza. But yeah, you guys already know the deal. What made this version special is that it was miles, and I mean miles better than the Pac-Man that came out, before this on the 2600. Pac-Man, a lot of people hated it because it was just bad in design. I wasn't one of those people, but I could see why they felt that way. Where this game really is just like the graphics, it plays very, very smooth. It plays very well, and it was not a disappointment by any means. It's one of those. It just runs smooth. It plays well. It looks a lot better than Part 1. And that's why Miss Pac-Man is coming in at number 9. Well, let's see, guys. Let's see. Before I leave you guys, can I finish this first stage? I'm already almost there. Might as well see if I could try. Well, I died. I'll get it done, though. I'll get it done. I'll see if I could. Oh, died again. That was not the game's fault. It's just me that I stink at this game. Okay, there we go. Oh, come on, Omiglio. You got this. You got this. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that came close. Was that it? That was it. Okay, well, you guys get the deal. You guys already know the deal. Oh, look, I didn't even know this. That's like from the arcade. I'm surprised that the 2600 even did this. This was like the intro for like the arcade game, Miss Pac-Man. I'm telling you, this was miles and miles better than Pac-Man for the 2600. And it shows, this one's that sweet spot. It isn't as sophisticated, nor does it play as quickly as Junior Pac-Man on the 2600. But this is that sweet spot for me, where it's like perfect. You don't have to worry about these scrolling backgrounds. Some people might like that. Again, it's like Junior Pac-Man is like bigger, and you could argue better. But this one has that sweet spot where it's like I just love the design, and it plays very, really close to the arcade. So I like it. It's to me comes in at number 9. Coming in at number 9 is a game known as Spider Fighter. It was also made by Activision. A lot of these gems or the games, some of my favorites for the Atari 2600 were made by Activision, you know. Matter of fact, I'm not going to say what title it is, but my number one spot is by Activision, the developer. So what makes this game so good, Spider Fighter? It's just the gameplay. It's kind of crazy. Everything's so quick, and it's, you know, like a traditional this era game where you have this you know, vertical shooter. But what makes it unique is that you know, when you move left and right, the bullet follows you, and it doesn't seem like it would work. It seems chaotic, but it is so much fun. Without further ado, guys, let me show you what I'm talking about. Spider Fighter coming in at number 8. Let's see. So you have your ships, how many you know tries you have on the left of the screen. But see, you can shoot to your left, and I like it because it's almost like cheating. Like, you know, did you ever want to cheat code in one of your games, especially these vertical shooters, where they I just got killed. Where you feel like, you know, you wanted a cheat code where the bullet could just follow you and you could destroy everything on screen. This game has you covered. It's just a ton of fun. You know, I mean, it's still challenging. You know, I'm making it seem like this game is like, you know, it's gonna be easy. It's not easy by any means, but it's just so much fun being able to shoot and the bullets follow you wherever you go. You know, it makes it like okay, I just got a free life. It does give you an advantage, but you know, you still have to be careful because this game still has a good amount of challenge in it. You know, the enemies are still shooting objects at you. But yeah, this is just an amazing game. I think that gets overlooked. I don't think I ever really see people talk about this game. This game is a lot of fun. One of my personal favorites. That is why Spider Fighter comes in at number 8. Nostalgia galore coming in at number 7. Asteroids. Oh man, honestly, for a while this might have been my favorite game on the Atari 2600. You know, it is so much fun. It's very basic. You know, you're this ship which looks like a triangle, very primitive graphics, but you're trying to destroy these basically these rocks that are in space. And it's very simple in approach. You know, you can move up, down. You can move anywhere on the screen. If you go like one side, very similar to Yar's Revenge, if you go from one side of the screen, you'll just pop up on the other side. So it's very like, it gives you a lot of freedom of where you can move. Although, I'm going to show you my strategy, what I do, because I'm pretty good at this game. And let me just show you what I'm talking about. I don't move at all. All I do is move the ship, but I don't actually move anywhere. I don't actually like move anywhere. I just unload on these rocks. I'm telling you guys, sometimes after a stressful day of work, your boss is giving you a hard time. There's nothing better that I'd rather do than destroy space debris, space rocks, if you will. I mean, this game is so satisfying. I mean, simple in its approach, but don't sleep on that. Don't forget about the graphics, man. It's so much fun. And honestly, I played different versions of Asteroids, and I think the 2600 is my favorite. Maybe because I'm pretty good at it, and maybe because I found the strategy of like not moving. Maybe. I mean, I'm telling you, like I haven't played this in a while. All I gotta do is just freshen up a little bit, and I'll be a beast at it. But yeah, the trick, at least to this version of the game, is you don't want to move anywhere. You don't want to see, like, you can move the ship, right? You don't want to do that. You don't want to move the ship. You want to stay in the center and just unload on everyone. But yeah, this game is so much fun, guys. I can't stress that enough. You know, your boss is giving you a hard time. You had a hard day's work. You broke up with your girlfriend, whatever, etc., etc. There's nothing I'd rather do than throw space balls in the air. That's why Asteroids comes in at number 7. Now, this game is a sleeper. I think a lot of people sleep on this, again, because of the limitations of the Atari 2600 hardware. You know, it's not even as powerful as an original Nintendo. So when it comes to graphics, people are going to be like, well, this game looks like trash. Don't let that fool you. The game has phenomenal gameplay. And really, it's just a testament to the programmers. You know, they understood that the console was limited, but they said, how do we get around that? How do we make it fun? Boy, did they make this game fun. Now, I have to admit, I was a sleeper on this game. I didn't know how great Dig Dug is on the Atari 2600 until today. I was actually playing this earlier, trying to come up with my top 20 list. And this game is one of those that just made the list, and it was not there originally. But it's so good that it was undeniable. So let's go ahead and give you some gameplay of Dig Dug. You know, if you guys are familiar with this, you're like this little... He looks like a space guy, but you're digging underneath and you're trying to trap those guys, and you blow them up like balloons, the enemies. It's like you have like this, it's like a string, and you're like blowing air into them. Yeah, that's what you're trying to do. It is, and I'm not sure if this game has, yes it does. It actually has music, which again for the 2600 is kind of rare that any game would have any kind of music. So this game does have music as long as you're moving. See, so like one of these guys comes up and I get him like a balloon. It's the gameplay, guys. Like I played different versions of this, and I can honestly tell you this game plays right up there with any of the versions I played. It is well executed when it comes to the gameplay, just as good as anything that I played regarding Dig Dug. It's like you're able to get a hold of them, like, you know, within means. Like it's not, the controls are not clunky at all. They're very responsive and very satisfying. I guess that's the best way to put it. And it's just easy to get a hold of these enemies and just, you know, pop them like balloons. Oh, look at that. I got him right there. Crept up on him. Okay, so I wasn't thinking, but the last guy, you know, once you get all of them, the very last guy is going to run away. So you want to be able to strategize. There's some strategy involved with this game where you can get all of them. You know, if you want to get all of them, get more points. Oh, see, I got cornered. But there's strategy involved. This game is so cute, so beautiful. And again, one of the few Atari games that does have music. Now, you do have to be moving, but it doesn't matter. Like, this game actually has music in it, which is very remarkable, especially for its time. Not a lot of 2600 games had any kind of music during the gameplay. See, I got that guy, It's all about strategy, guys. It's all about strategy. So, there we go. Opened it up. Got him. Okay, this guy's trying to run away. Look, I'm going to show you what I do I'm going to block him off. He's trying to escape, but I won't let him. I'm trying to rack up them points. See, he's trying to run away, and I got him with my little... There we go. The string gun. I don't know what you want to call it. But yeah, this game is so much fun, guys. Don't sleep on Dig Dug. The Atari 2600 is actually one of the best versions that I played of this game. And I played the arcade game, and this game is right up there with the arcade game. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's gonna be times when I might prefer to play this version. Again, graphics not so great. Gameplay phenomenal. That is why Dig Dug is coming in at what number did I say? Number 6. Wow, that's amazing, guys. Let's see if I can finish it off right here. Finish it off with the. Wait, you know what? So what should I do over here? Cause yeah, see, he's gonna see. This is where the strategy comes in. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go for this guy because that guy's gonna try to run away. The guy on the right is gonna try to run away, and I'll be able to get him more. See, I have more time to get him. If I would have got the guy from the right, the guy on the left would have just escaped easily. Oh, they always try to run away at the top left corner of the screen, if that helps. There it is, got them all. But yeah, Dig Dug, don't sleep on it. It is one of the greatest games on the 2600. I promise you, tons of fun. Let's get a drum roll for the top 5 2600 games, according to your friend Omiglio. Coming in at number 5, you know, you probably guessed it. A lot of these old games are vertical shooters like this, but my gosh, are they fun. You know, they're simplistic, and yeah, there's times I just want to play something like this and just have fun. I don't necessarily want a story. I don't want to, you know, this amazing graphics. I just want something simplistic where I can kick back and just enjoy myself for like 30 minutes, maybe even 15 minutes, and go about my day. You know, Phoenix is a beautiful game. It's one of the most... honestly, like one of the most impressive games for the 2600, because not only are the graphics remarkable for the 2600, you know, it has phenomenal gameplay that actually is pretty deep on its gameplay. And without further ado, let me show you what I'm talking about, guys. It's pretty deep on its gameplay. So, you know, a lot of them are, you know, just like some of the other shooters that we played, like, you know, Spider Fighter or Galaxian or even Millipede Centipede. You know, it's like a vertical shooter. Oh, I just died. And that's just the way these games play, right? But again, don't sleep on it. It's a simplistic approach. This game, it comes to the point, I think you have like this shield, which I'm not totally familiar with, guys. I'm not the best at this game. I just know that it's remarkable, and you're gonna see why it's such a good game in just a second. Because of the depth. Like, okay, these guys, not only do they, like, you know, do you shoot them, but if you shoot them just right, you can actually destroy them with one hit. Otherwise, you split them into like little bats, which is really, really awesome. You split them into like really bad, like little small bats. I'm trying to see if I can get to the next part here, guys, so I could show you one of the greatest strengths of this game. It's very unique for a 2600 game. Very deep. I mean, the graphics are already remarkable. Look, okay, I gotta get past these guys. If I can get past these guys, you'll see what I'm talking about. See, if you get them right in the center, okay, that's my shield. I don't know how to activate that, though. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure how to. If you get him right in the center, you'll kill him with one shot, which is very unique. You know, like, that's very creative. You know, a lot of these space shooters pretty much play identical. Oh, I just died. Okay, let's see. I want to show you what I'm talking about. But if I'm able to get past these guys, we're about to fight a spaceship. that's like the boss, which is very unique. Like, you know, it's like you're getting to the boss, you know. I don't know how I do that. I don't know what activates that. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, I want to get him with one shot here. Okay, I got his wing. When he comes low, I know that you want to be careful because... Okay, I got him. Check this out, guys. You have like a boss battle. This is what makes Phoenix such a unique game. Not only are the graphics really good for a 2600 game, but you actually have like almost like a story progression where you're fighting a boss at the end, which is very unique for like a 2600 game, right? See, I'm trying to penetrate through that blue because I'm going to let him have it right now in a second. Oh, I get it. Look, I don't think he could hit you past... Okay, there it is. I'm about to get him right now if I can just go over there. Oh, I would have killed... Like, okay, yeah, this game is... There it is. I got him. I got him. Beautiful. And I got the shield right at the right time. Honestly, this could have easily probably been top 3. This game is phenomenal. Don't sleep on this. This is so much fun. And like I said, it has a little bit of depth. Not only are the graphics fantastic, but you have like a boss fight. That is so unique. It is more than just a vertical shooter. It is fantastic, and that's why this game comes in the top 5. In my case, number 5, Phoenix. Ah, the top 4. The top 4 indeed. This is one of the most legendary games, dare I say, ever created. I'm talking about Space Invaders. The Atari 2600 port of this game is by no means bad whatsoever. I mean, again, I guess when it comes to like bad graphics and when it comes to a vertical shooter in the 2600, it doesn't get worse than like Millipede and Centipede, right? Where it's just blocks. Well, this game doesn't have that, obviously. The graphics are pretty good for 2600 standards, but it's really the gameplay, right? I've said it before, I'll say it again. The gameplay is just legendary. And when it comes to this kind of shooter, this old school shooter, this is the granddaddy. This is the game that started it all for so many others to emulate. Let's get it started, guys, with Space Invaders. Wish me luck, because I'm not that good at it, but like, you know, I do my best. Now those, I'm shooting up, right? I'm shooting against these aliens that are trying to invade Earth, planet Earth. Man, this game is so much, it's so simple, guys, but it's so much fun. And again, I think the 2600 version nailed it, man. You know, yeah, the graphics aren't great, but sometimes, hey, I ain't gonna lie, I want these cheesy graphics. You know, it's simple and fun, and I don't have to like worry about I'm gonna invest 30 hours of my day to play a video game. You know what I mean? I'm just like enjoying it. Now, those red things that are ahead of me and in front of me, I think they act as shields, or I think it's basically it's there to protect me, from my understanding. I think they're shields, if I'm not mistaken. Now I'm trying to take out these lower guys because notice how they're coming lower and lower. So there's a bit of stress that's involved. This game doesn't have music per se, but you have that constant tick tack, whatever that sound is. You know, because they're putting pressure on you. They're letting you know that they're about to come down to Earth and eat you up alive. So see, now they're moving quicker. Now there's more anxiety. There's more stress. Yeah, if you're big on anxiety, this is not going to be your game. So they got through all my armor. They got through all my shields. Oh, they got me right there. Okay, I'm still alive though. I can shoot this guy real quick. Yes. Got him all. That's the first time I've ever done that. Like I'm not that good at this game, but yeah, very simple, guys. Very nothing crazy, nothing fancy, but it is the granddaddy and it deserves respect. You know, put some respect on this game's name because it's phenomenal. You know, I'm not like the biggest Space Invaders fan in the world, but I certainly give credit where credit is due. And this 2600, for some reason, I have a lot of nostalgia for this. I don't know if I played it a lot when I was a kid, but for some reason it is so nostalgic. I think that something similar to this came out in Fallout 4, where you could get like little cartridges and put them onto your like that watch that you have on your wrist, that big one that keeps track of all your inventory and pretty much everything, all the stats in the game. I think that you can actually pick up a cartridge in that world in Fallout 4, and it plays very similar to this. You know, like it's very similar to this. Come on. Got him! But yeah, it basically it stresses you out, you know, because you know that these guys, it starts off very slow, very tame, right? But then it gets very, very difficult. I don't know, guys. This is the best I've actually done ever playing this game. You know, like I said, I have a lot of nostalgia, maybe because of Fallout 4. I don't know. I think also in Fallout 4 they also have another game which, you know, I don't want to give it out. They have a couple of them that are retro that you can play, which is so cool. Like Fallout 4 is actually one of my favorite games. Period. I love that game so much. But yeah, this Space Invaders is the granddaddy of all, arcade vertical shooters, and this game is not a letdown, man. If you play this game, the 2600 version is not gonna let you down. This is a phenomenal version, and I'd put it up there with pretty much anything when it comes to space shooters. Oh, it's easy to panic. You get to that last point and it's easy to panic. That's what they want you to do. But you got to stay composed, man. You got to stay composed. I think the gameplay is just dead on, man. It's so simple, but don't sleep on it. That is why this game comes in at number 4, Space Invaders. Just by hearing that sound, I have a lot of nostalgia. I hear that in my dreams. This is a game I played so much as a kid. I'm talking about Demon Attack, one of my all-time favorite Atari 2600 games. Man, it's a vertical shooter, but this one, guys, I would say is probably one of the nicest, right up there with Phoenix when it comes on the graphic department. It's very unique in its gameplay also, because some of the enemies, similar to this game, is the closest to Phoenix out of all the games that we played. Vertical shooter, the granddaddy Space Invader started it, but Phoenix, took it a couple of levels up. You had an end boss. This game, similar to Phoenix, some of the enemies will split in half. The only advantage that Phoenix has when it comes to the gameplay department is that in this game, while they all split in half, no matter where you hit them, in Phoenix, if you get them right in the center, you'll kill them with one shot. So Phoenix does have an advantage when it comes to this game in that department. If you even see that as an advantage, I think it is. But I don't know, guys. You can call it nostalgia, call it whatever you want. But I have it so high on this list, number 3 on my all-time 2600 games, because man, I think it's that good. And it's challenging. It's a very hard game. But my gosh, when I think about addicting 2600 games, it doesn't get more addicting than this. Let's get it started, guys. Show you some gameplay here. So it starts off slow. See how these guys... What's cool about some of these shooters, and Space Invaders comes to mind, is that you have to... It's almost like you have to let the bullet load. Like, it doesn't just shoot whenever you want it to. You have to let it load. It's not like semi-automatic. Like, it really takes, like... When you commit, you better commit. Man, this game is so... It's just the gameplay, man. How they program the enemies to move left and right. It's like they kind of trick you. It's like they're busting a football move or something. You know how the football players move left and right? They trick you, or like a basketball player would do. Okay, and some of these guys, similar to remember earlier in my top, I think it's a top 10 game, Spider Fighter. Oh, okay, so this game does have a hint of like millipede centipede, that if you're shooting an object, the next bullet will be like a semi-automatic, like something you'll shoot, like, what, you see what I'm saying? Yeah, like if you shoot an object, the next bullet will shoot quicker as well. Very similar to millipede centipede. So it does have that gameplay element going for it. Does that make sense, guys? Like if I shoot something, the following bullet will shoot like really quickly following it, which I don't know why. Little things like that. It's very subtle, but it does make the game. It enhances the gameplay. Now these guys are gonna start splitting in half, and similar to Spider Fighter, not only are they gonna, the bullets follow you. Similar to Spider Fighter. Oh, okay. Don't follow me that much. That's not good. I don't want it to follow me that much. But yeah. So again, this game is challenging, and it gets more challenging with these enemies, especially. They start coming down to you like that. It's hard when the bullets follow you, in Spider Fighter, you actually have bullets that follow the enemy, but in this game, the enemy shoots bullets that follow you, or follow him. They can move with their ship, So notice how the bullets follow to left and right. It isn't just like they fall, like my bullets just go straight up in the air. His bullets can follow him, and it makes it very difficult. You really have to, have enough coverage. You don't want to get caught in a corner, because they'll take advantage. They'll kill you. So yeah, this game has phenomenal gameplay. I think I've already played this game too long, guys, but you can see it. It's very challenging. It's a lot of fun. That is why this is my top 3 2600 game. Let me just get rid of this guy. We're gonna move on to the next game. Sometimes it could be, it could be very challenging. I'm telling you, they move a lot, and I think that's why I like it. Just the challenge. There it is. That's enough gameplay, guys. Demon Attack, all-time favorite. Just gotta be careful when those bullets, when they can follow you, as the enemy can shoot left and right. That's really where it becomes challenging. You gotta be careful with those bullets. You don't want them. You don't want to let him corner you. Otherwise, you're gonna be one dead shit. But yeah, Demon Attack, for sure, top 3. One of my favorite Atari 2600 games of all time. We're finally down to the top 2, guys, and it was a very difficult decision because I think this game is such a great game. And the reason I heard of this game is, if you guys are aware of like retro gaming, there's a YouTube channel by the name of Metal Jesus Rocks, and I heard about this game through him, and he raves about it. He calls it one of his favorite, or it is his favorite Atari 2600. The only reason this game got edged out is because of all-time classic, and you'll see what game that is. But it just edged it out because I do think that game is just slightly better, not by a lot. This game has a lot to offer, and I do think in terms of like, I don't know, they're both really advanced for their time. That's the thing. Number 1 and number 2 spot are games that are legendary, but you wouldn't necessarily think of like, you know, games that would belong to the 2600 library. Like you would think of like Shooters, Space Invaders, you know, Demon Attack. You would think about those games, but these 2 games are just so, I would say, ahead of their time. They're so good. This game, Hero, is no different. It's ahead of its time. Shout out to Metal Jesus Rocks. I found out about this game through him. So I guess you have all your lives. You have your lives at the bottom. You have your power, and then you have like this. You have like a jetpack, and you can shoot a laser beam, and you're trying to save people. See, just like that. And so let's just get it started, and I'll show you some of the gameplay. You also have bombs to destroy walls. So at the very beginning, you want to destroy that wall. You want to get out of the way, otherwise the wall would take you out. See. And then you save the guy. Therefore, you're a hero. And honestly, it seems very simple in approach, but the levels do get more sophisticated. They get harder, and the game is quite challenging. I have not mastered it. Also, like to get going, like you have to hold the up pad for a while. It has like a physics engine in the game, and it just this game is challenging. You know, it's not for the faint of heart. It's certainly challenging. And it's a lot of fun, guys. I mean, when I think about design, when I think about, like I said, you wouldn't think of a game like this coming out on the 2600. So I'm just very happy that I did discover it thanks to Metal Jesus. You know, that I discovered. I didn't play this game growing up as a kid. So, like, you know, being able to play this is what the heck was that? I think it was. I think I let a bomb down. So yeah, obviously I'm really stinking at the game, but trust me, this game is so much fun. I died again. It is so much fun and really like sophisticated when it comes to design. Hero, you know, this game is pricey if you want to own the actual physical cartridge. It's very expensive. One of the most expensive games. I wonder if Mr. MJ had anything to do with that. And by MJ, I don't mean Michael Jordan. I don't know, you know, but it's definitely an expensive game. But it's definitely one of the very best the Atari 2600 has to offer. Everything from graphics to gameplay to just fun. It doesn't get much better than Hero. And everything leads us to number 1 on my list. This is by Activision. The creator of this game is David Crane, legendary developer. He would go on to make A Boy and His Blob, and part 2 actually plays a lot more like A Boy and His Blob than this one. But this game, why did I pick it? It's simplicity, it's charm, it's nostalgia. But you know what? It's gameplay. It actually holds up. It's actually fun today, which is crazy. Of course, guys, you know, and I mentioned it before, I'll say it again, the 2600 isn't heavy when it comes to graphics, but my goodness, if you can get past that, which I hope you do, if you can get past that, there's plenty of fun to be had. Thank you, David Crane, for making the number 1 game, in my opinion, for the 2600. That's Pitfall. Now, in Pitfall, it's just a platformer, one of the earliest platformers that I can think of. You know, that and like Hero are some of the earliest platformers in video game history that I can think of. So you want to like traverse through this terrain, and don't do that. You don't want to fall into the pit. You know, you have points, and you have like a timer that's timing you. You have 20 minutes to do everything, and you want to like traverse this, and there's some crocodiles that are very dangerous and they'll eat you up alive. You don't want to fall into their mouths, so you want to stand on top of their head, just in front of their mouths, and then you're able to cross. I remember as a kid being terrified of that. So every time any of these objects hit you, you do lose points. So notice how my points are going down. But the whole point of the game, if you're wondering, is just to like, eventually as you're navigating through this platforming, you're gonna run across that. Oh, but be careful. You know, you have like some pits that you can fall into. You're going to run across treasure and gold and stuff like that, rings that have monetary value, and you're going to rack up points. So you want to rack up as many points as you can, A, before you die and you don't have any more continues, or B, before the timer runs out, because you have like 20 minutes to start with. But it is so much fun. It's very super simple, especially by today's standards, but do not sleep on this, guys. This is honestly, like, this game is so addicting. Once you get good at it, I know I've already had some careless deaths, but once you get good at it and you understand the gameplay, like for example, little things like knowing that you can stand on the top of the head of the crocodile and he won't harm you. But guess what? I'm gonna show you just so you can know what I'm saying. If you go a little bit forward, guess what? He'll eat you. So you got it's very, very delicate in how you can do things. You have to like figure out little nuances like that. But once you do, this game is very gratifying. And honestly, it's such a great game. I haven't really played other ports of it, but the 2600 plays remarkably well. Despite the fact of the limitations of the 2600, this game comes, I mean, it's honestly such a great game. Such a great, to make this video, I was, you know, playing all these games and trying to say, well, what's my favorite? You know, which one do I like the most? And I couldn't put this game down. This is one of those games that I couldn't put down. Other games I had, okay, I played it for a few minutes. Yes, it's dated. I can't play it anymore. I could not put this game down because once you get good at it, and not that I'm great at it, but once you understand, that's a better way to put it. Once you understand the gameplay and its nuances, oh my goodness, it is so much fun. And so basically this one, I just made it Indiana Jones style. You know, this one is a one-player game that does take advantage of that just a regular stick controller, so you don't have to use a paddle controller for this game. But my goodness, guys, this game is so much fun. And that's about gonna wrap it up, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is my top 20 Atari 2600 games, and of course, coming in at number 1, none other than Pitfall. So there you have it, guys. My top 20 Atari 2600 games. Which ones are your favorite? You know, as pretty much any video that's ever been created for the top whatever list, you know, people are always gonna, you know, be conflicted with that list because it's a very subjective topic. But a lot of it, you know, has to do with nostalgia and your own personal memories. I'd love to hear your top 20 or maybe your top 5, whatever you'd like to share on the comment section. I'll get back to you guys. As always, if you guys are enjoying the content, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And as always, guys, I will catch you on the next vid.